Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, yes, let's get ready to rumble. Good evening, everyone. Today is Sunday, January the 15th, and we do have a great call lined up for everyone. Just take a quick look in the room. If anybody on your team's missing, send them a quick text. Because we want everybody to have the opportunity to hear this information live, no doubt about it. And as I mentioned, we got some things that lined up this evening that you will want to take some notes. So have some paper in front of you and a pen so you can jot down some things that we're going to go over this evening. To kick off the call, what I want to do is turn it directly over to the music man, Mr. Coach Ken Smith. So over to you, Ken.
Great. Thanks, Patty, and good evening, everybody. Excited to have an opportunity once again to pull together and to really just let you know that we're enhancing the offering, the training, the experience, the background, the millions of dollars that have been earned by a brain trust of individuals who've chosen to come together here on these weekly webinars, and you're going to see this go from one stage to the next just over the course of the next 7 or 8 days. Some of you know that we already have, Lorna Rasmussen, who is a Millionaire Club member, one of the top trainers in the company, and somebody who you can find her story on page 176 of the Profiles of Success out of Atlanta, Georgia. That's Lorna Rasmussen. And also joining us in the future, starting next week officially, will be Brenda and Jerry Lafredo, also Millionaire Club members, former RVPs of the state of Arizona, just incredible dear friends of Patty's and mine, and a lot of people on the line here. You can find them on page 135 of the Profiles of Success, and of course Patty and myself being members of the Millionaire Club as well. So, if you're going to go somewhere, oftentimes it's easier to find your way when you can go with somebody who's already been there. And here's the thing, is that all three of these individuals and couples have made the commitment to take it to the next level in 2012 to become $250,000 ring earners and to go out there and solidify that platinum executive director position month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And here's the catch. In order to do that, we need to each find at least 4 individuals in 4 individual lines that are going to become executive directors, ultimately going to become 6-figure ring earners, and obviously become platinum executive directors as well. So if you're one of the people that would like to kind of fit that description, then we're looking for you. All of us are, and of course our collective contribution to just kind of giving you the ins and outs of what's going on in the business, what's happened in the past, and what's likely to happen in the future is really, that's the calling. That's who we're looking for. And of course, everybody can play. Doesn't matter what level you want to play at. I know I got a message from somebody that said, hey, wow, if I could make $500 a month, that would be a great place for me to start. And I say, hey, congratulations. If that's a target that you have, once you reach 500, I'm just willing to bet that you would probably take 600 or maybe 7 or maybe 1,000 or 10,000. But it certainly starts with whatever it is that you're initially shooting for, and then from there it's just a question of multiplication. If you're doing the right thing and you're doing more of it, you're going to get more of the kind of results. If you're doing the wrong thing, then obviously if you're working with somebody that can kind of coach you, train you, correct you, if you give them permission to do that, then obviously you've got the resources it's going to take to really make this not only work for yourself, but to make it work for other people. And so, there's so many things going on in the world of LegalShield at the moment, and there's so many opportunities for you to get out there and really get plugged into, get inspired by, get coached or trained or mentored by top people in the company. And oftentimes, an opportunity will come up to do one of those things, and it seems like the impossible, but then all of a sudden you figure out how to make it happen, and you come away on fire, inspired, and rejuvenated. And I know that Lorna Rasmussen has been a pivotal part of putting together the Southeast regional event. In fact, it was she and Mike Melia, another one of the Millionaire Club members with the company, that originally set that all off, and that just happened this weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to go out to Lorna to get her to make some comments on what happened there. And I know we have somebody also on the call tonight that from Shelby Timmons that actually went a long, long ways to get to that event, and Lorna hosted him and introduced him to different people out there, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that. So, get your pens and papers ready, because this is an individual, this is a woman that's just a sheer inspiration, somebody who's got a tremendous track record in personal development and business and film production, as a former professor and now one of the most highly regarded individuals in the LegalShield world. I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Lorna Rasmussen in Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks a lot, Ken. And it was an amazing weekend we just came off of. If you can imagine the convention in Oklahoma City, this was definitely a version of that. I'm kind of exhausted right now, but I wanted to share with everybody just a couple of things that really struck me. We had the pleasure of hosting Rip Mason. He, obviously our CEO, and this is interesting to me. He sat in our conference, which the way the conference is set up, and I really want to encourage everybody, if you can, to come. And for those of you in Alberta, there were people there from Calgary, Alberta. There were people from the West Coast. There were people from all over the country. But we do very intense trainings. I had some of the best training on how to sell a membership that I've ever had. I learned things after 14 years in the business, but from two people who just do a phenomenal job. And if I can get hold of some of the slides and some of the information, I'll definitely pass it along to everybody. But then on Saturday, we had a whole day of presentations, and I'll just start by saying that a gentleman, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about him, who's an icon in network marketing. His name is John Fogg, and he wrote one of the iconoclastic books of network marketing, The Greatest Networker in the World. He was in the room, and he said he has never, in all of the years that he has gone to network marketing company meetings, has never seen the quality of the people and the quality of the information that he saw on Saturday. Well, Rip Mason sat there through the whole convention. He was there at the beginning, and he was there to the very, very end. And I just was very touched and moved by the fact he would do that. And he was listening, because I tried to interrupt him once, and he wouldn't have none of it. He wanted to hear what was being said. But this is a point he made, which I get goosebumps just thinking about it. He said, we are a $60 billion industry. That's the size of the industry that legal services represents, a $60 billion industry. And he said, to give you an idea of what that means, he said, if you took the total of all cosmetic companies, and that would be from Mary Kay and Avon all the way over to L'Oreal and Estee Lauder. You took the total of all cosmetic companies plus toiletries. So that's everything from Gillette, shaving cream, to hairspray, you name it, toiletries, soap, and all that good stuff. Those two industries combined, cosmetics and toiletries, equal a $60 billion industry. So we're the same size as that. Here's the difference. In their industry, there are about 3,000 companies competing with one another for a piece of the pie, the piece of that market. In our $60 billion industry, there's us. And when he said that, I just went, oh my gosh, how amazing for us to be here positioned to take this industry on. And then he went on to say, as many of you have heard before, 40% of people, if they were just told this service existed, would buy it. So you've got a $60 billion industry, 40% are prepared to buy it. In fact, he said 60%, according to their numbers, and of course they looked at 30,000 people, 60% don't even believe that the service has ever been created. They don't even know it exists. So we've just got such an incredible market, and he assured us that they were working very hard at what is the pull marketing. There's push marketing and there's pull marketing. Pull marketing is pulling those people to the product and the service, making them aware it exists, letting them know that there is such a thing out there, so that when they have an issue, a problem, a challenge, that they will actually take a look at it. And they've got a new commercial out, another one of the little cartoon ads that's really cute and kind of covers everything, the membership, but it covers anything and everything that could happen to you. And It's real cute, and I'm sure it'll be out for general population. I know Ken and Patty, you've seen it, and I've seen it. It's very, very cute. But they're also, he let us know, they're filming the advertising or the commercials that will go on television. Of course, those commercials will go on television. So I'm going to end my little piece here, although I could go on and on about all the great things we learned. I'm going to end it by sharing with you a conversation I had with one of the executives, Platinum executive directors that were there, and we had lots of them visiting us from all over the region. And he said, I asked him, what are you planning to do? What are you doing, taking this information, and what are your plans? And he said, what I'm doing, and I'm doing this with all of my people, is I'm making sure we're out there in the marketplace letting people know that we are the ones who are representing this service, that we are LegalShield. And he said, my goal is to get 1,000 packages of information. I believe he's using the new DVD that's coming out along with the 32-page booklet. Those are the exclusive tools that he's using. And he says we're going to get that into 1,000 people's hands just in this area before April. And what he said to me, and I completely agree with him on this, is that we have that window of opportunity right now where people really, truly do not know that we exist. We know that 10% of the population knew and knows about prepaid legal, but the rest of them have no idea that, and as we said, 60% of the population has no concept that even there is such a thing as what we are. And so getting that into the marketplace, getting your name out into the marketplace is critical. And the reason he said that we've got 90 days to do that is because of the advertising. You know, it may not be your area that gets chosen for the first advertising, because of course they're going to do it by market areas. But the fact of the matter is it's likely to be an area that's close to you. And so just pick an area. You know, if you're in British Columbia, I would guess that Los Angeles and Southern California are definitely going to be it. You know, or in Alberta, it's probably going to be Denver. Salt Lake City might be one. We know for sure it's going to be in Atlanta because we're a big market. So just pick a market and start moving into that market through any means you have. Just ask everybody you know, who do you know in Los Angeles? Who do you know in Denver? Who do you know in Atlanta? And of course, you're not controlled by where you are. You're controlled by where you go. And so that's his recommendation. That's certainly be my recommendation. If you were planning to work at all at any time, now would be the time to do that. Now is not the time to sit back and wait and see and guess what's going to happen. Now is the time to get out there and really do something. So Ken or Patty, back to you. You can see I'm excited. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Lorna. That was incredible. I really enjoyed listening to what it was that you had to say, and definitely great advice. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have myself on mute there. Obviously great advice, and also I understand, I was reading some of the little comments here that Pat Hammond from Birmingham was also at that event, and so great stuff. It's wonderful to see people getting that information firsthand, but the fact that many of us weren't there, Lorna, thank you so much for just sharing some of those ideas and where we're going, and I agree. I think it's better now to just go full force, and I'm going to definitely start looking at a game plan at building more in the Los Angeles marketplace and take advantage of what's going on, and I would certainly encourage everybody else to do the same thing. So what we want to do is just go forward with some of the things for food for thought, and the first is I know that last week many of you heard about the Fast Start acceleration, and I have had quite a few calls because people were a little bit confused, like what exactly does that mean? Do I recruit somebody and then they get a $50 rebate, or how does that work exactly? Well, what I'm going to do here is actually draw it out for you so that you can see, and the purpose of this promotion is not to give people a rebate for getting started. I mean, it's easy to get people started. That's not the point of it. The point is to empower people to get Fast Start qualified. That's why it's called a Fast Start Accelerate. So let's go, and I'll get my trusty pen out, and I am just going to draw out how this would look for you. Now, let's say that this is you, and whether you got started in January or before, it doesn't matter. You paid $149 to get started. But the first thing that you want to do, well, actually, let me go backwards. Let's say that you got started before January 1st. So this is you. You paid your $149, and whether you're a junior associate right now or whether you are a Platinum Executive Director, it doesn't matter. This is you, and you recruit your first person. So you recruited Sue, let's say, and Sue obviously gets her membership, and she also pays $149. Now, what happens is Sue is empowered to get Fast Start qualified. So what we're going to say to Sue is, who can we talk to as fast as possible? We want you to get Fast Start qualified. Obviously, doing 3 membership sales plus 1 associate is the fastest way to get Fast Start qualified, plus what's happening is that you're building a team. But here's what happens. We are giving Sue the first 3 people we can go to with Sue. We're not expecting Sue to do this on her own, and we're going to say, who do you know? Who's your list? Let's mine your list. Look at your list. I will talk to them with you, or you want to go to your upline Power 20 person or your upline executive director or ring earner to help you do this. Because the first 3 people that Sue's going to bring in, they're going to get a $50 rebate. Yes, they do have to pay their $149, so they're going to pay their $149, but as soon as they do that, the company's going to rebate them back $50. So if they paid their $149 on credit card, then the $50 is going to be immediately credit it back to their credit card. So that's like them getting started for just $99 plus their membership. And so that's the same with this person, this person, this person. So Sue has the opportunity to help 3 people get started and get the rebate. Now here is, and this is just for the month of January. Now, Sue does have until April, I believe it's the 19th, to get her 3 people who could obviously get the rebate. So if Sue gets her first 3 people, what's her next goal? She has now moved, she's Fast Start qualified because she's got her 3 and 1. She's actually got 3 and 3. And so her next goal is to help each of these 3 people or somebody in that team to also get Fast Start qualified so she can move up to senior associate. So if Sue happens to come out with a 4th individual, we're going to suggest why not give that person to one of these 3 people and help them get started, get Fast Start qualified. Because the goal for all of us is to get to the top permanent position as quickly as possible for many, many reasons. But obviously, the most important reason is because that's the best pay. And so I hope that kind of explains it a little bit for people in terms of why that is put into play. It's not just to get people started. It's actually to build the accelerant to get people Fast Start qualified. Sue will be more inclined to be able to go out to people and say, hey, I'm with the best company in North America. I can show you how to get started. Let me sit down with you, or let's get someone together to explain this to you. And just for getting started, the company's going to give you a $50 rebate, and we can show you how to help people do the same thing. So I hope that helps. Does Sue get the fit? No, Ralph, Sue does not get the $50 rebate. It's the people that Sue brings in that get the $50 rebate, because the whole point is for Sue to to empower Sue to go out and get her 3 people. So that's just the way that's why it's called a Fast Start Accelerant. So anyway, hope that helped everybody understand a little bit of why that is. We just want to encourage people not just to get started in January, but to get started and get Fast Start qualified in January. So what I want to do is go right over to talking about our Oklahoma City conference, because everything that we're going to do between now and April will have to do with the Oklahoma City Conference. We've already heard on the conference calls through the company that it's very, very important for everyone to make a commitment and everyone to make a decision now what they want to achieve. Now, one of the things in terms of getting your ticket, if you don't already have your ticket until January the 18th, and I don't believe they've extended that, the cost of your ticket is $115. Then the next cost of your ticket goes up to $135, and you do not want to do a walk-in rate of $155. You want to do whatever you can to get your ticket and let your team, your support team, know you have it. So if you've already got your ticket for the Oklahoma City Conference, I want you to open the link in front of you and type in, yes, I have my ticket. So Gloria has her ticket. Gloria Houghton has her ticket. If you have your ticket, if you already know, yeah, Charlie and Karen Ashbrego have their ticket. Christy Gilman has her ticket. Daryl and Karen Spence have her ticket. Brenda Lafredo has her ticket. Lorna Rasmussen has her ticket. And so you can see, you know, who on your team. Linda Rasmussen has her ticket. Teresa Berlin has her ticket. Ken Smith has his ticket. Joanne Fraser has her ticket. Anna Brooks has her ticket. Pat Hammond has her ticket. So what we want to do, guys, is now that we have our tickets, we want to empower our team, and there's so many reasons why you want to do that. And I'm going to show you before, and then I'm going to go out to a couple of the leaders just to reiterate what I'm going to talk about, because this is your checklist for Oklahoma City. First of all, plan to get your ticket. And so we've just seen who already has their ticket. So decide now. If you don't have your ticket, decide now to get your ticket. That is step one. After you've got your ticket, we know you're committed. And then finding a roommate, if necessary, will follow. We will work together to make sure that if we have to get 4 people in a room, we'll do it. People on this call have already done stuff like that. Start checking out the airline prices now so that you can make a decision. How many memberships do you have to sell to pay for your airline price? I mean, why not do that right now so that you're planning towards it? You don't want to wait until just before the conference. Do you have any airline points that you can use? You want to start getting creative right now. The second thing is that we want every single one of you, everybody on this call, to understand what Power 20 is and how to do that. First of all, Power 20 means that you, between you and your team, you have at least 20 sales. And you cannot count any more than 12 sales from one team. For example, let's say you have, I'm on your team, and my team does 20 sales. Well, you can count 12 of those 20 towards your 20, and we want you to do that in January and February, and there's a reason for you to do that. Let me show you what that reason is. I'm just going to go to the next slide. Just give me a second, everybody. The reason that you want to do that is that you will get an invitation from the top 3 people in our company, which is Darnell Self, Dave Savola, our #1 income earner, and Brian Carruthers, to be part of the Power 20 exclusive training. For those of you that have been to a conference before, you know that we could book the ticket and pay for it. They're not doing that now anymore. What they're doing is they're going to encourage everyone to qualify as Power 20 for January and February. And by doing that, that you will get an invitation to attend this amazing training that's really going to set your business on fire. I'm excited because every single person will be invited to attend as long as they're Power 20 in January and February. But there's really another reason behind that, the psychology of what they're doing, is that it's going to give more incentive to help a lot of people get to the executive director position. So what I want to do is just go out to a couple of people just to get their take on that. And the first person I'm going to go out to, I want to go back to you, Lorna, and maybe just kind of share what you like about what the company has done with this incentive.
Well, it's so exciting. I'm just looking here at the picture, and I'm thinking, these guys are on fire. I mean, we heard obviously from Dave Savola this weekend, you know, anytime you can get in front of people who have been extremely successful, you're going to do better in the long run. So what they've done is they've said, here's the line. This is the bar. They've raised the bar, really, basically, is what they've done. They've said, if you want this kind of information, you need to step up and earn it. And I think that's terrific, because for a lot of people, they don't understand what being successful is. They don't know what the measuring point is. And obviously, we'd love everybody to get this kind of information, but the people who really need it are the people who are building their teams. And so they've literally said, okay, here's the bar. Here's just like they've done with Players Club. And I'll share a quick story with you. On my leadership call, very early on, all we talked about was Players Club. Players Club, getting to Players Club. This was when Players Club was 10. And one day, one of the women hit executive director. And the whole conversation stopped. What Wendy had done is she'd raised the bar, and she said, we're not talking about 10 counters. Now we're talking about 75 counters. And when she did that, suddenly everybody else, just like the 4-minute mile, they realized that they could do it because she'd done it. And that's what Power 20 is doing. I'm amazed at the thought that goes into this, so I'm excited. Back to you, Patty.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lorna. I appreciate that. And Ken, I just want to get your take on this. Power 20, over to you.
Well, yeah, it gives somebody something to shoot for rather than just kind of showing up and warming a seat. And, of course, you know, if you don't have a particular target in mind, how are you going to hit it? And that's attainable. You know, doing that, Power 20 is not an impossible thing to shoot for at all. And, you know, if you've got any kind of a team at all, as you described there, you can count some of the production from your team. So it really, you know, hits every nail on the head in terms of leveraging yourself, following a system, duplicating that system, encouraging other people to do the same thing. And imagine if you hit Power 20 and you also had maybe 4 or 5 people on your team hit Power 22, which is you know, certainly doable, if that's a word, but if that's the case, you'd be an executive director as well. So, you know, bottom line here is that we want to become, you know, a factory that coming off the other end is people that are making a significant income, that have got the option to make this a full-time career and then to go beyond that and actually to achieve some of the things that maybe they had stars in their eyes about years ago and then they've kind of given up on it. It's doable. It's happening every single day, and it's just a day at a time, a brick at a time, following the system. And, you know, it's like Jim Rohn says, about a half a dozen things. Well, you know, I see there's 4 major things here that they're going to cover in this actual power training that these 3 guys are going to put on. And when, I mean, it's just into the tens of millions of dollars that they've collectively earned. But in order to do that, they've helped an awful lot of other people make 6 figures and multiple 6 figures. So very exciting. And it's instead of just lowering the bar and cheapening the opportunity, what it does is it just gives people an incentive to go out there and use it as an excuse to be more successful and to follow a system. So back to you, Patty.
Awesome. Thanks, Ken. And you absolutely laid it out, because obviously if we can get everybody committed to at least going for Power 20, that, you know, leads right in to the executive director position, as you said, Ken. And again, I know almost everybody in the room has already set a goal to be at the gold, well, certainly the executive director banquet. I'm not sure if they're calling it Black and Gold Banquet anymore, but it's the executive director banquet anyway. And so you can get to executive director with 50 sales. So that's either personal. So if you're doing group business and you go out and personally market 50 sales yourself, you will be an executive director, or you can do it on team sales. And if you are doing executive director on team, you must be at the director position and have 1 director line to be able to count the 50 sales from your team, plus you have to do 3 personal sales. So that is kind of the way that's laid out. To attend the executive director banquet at the Oklahoma conference this year, you must be executive director in both February and March. And so by the company putting Power 20 in play for January and February, you know what that's going to do? It's going to actually set the bar so that everybody will be going towards their goal, which is executive director. And I see Gloria says, yes, save me a seat. I have your seat saved, Gloria, because I know you will be at the banquet. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to go out to a couple of the people that actually were at that event in Atlanta. And the first person I want to go out to is Shelby from Alabama, because I know, Shelby Timmons, you were at that event. Hopefully your microphone works. I want to go out to you, and maybe you could just kind of share your excitement and a couple of things that you got out of it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be glad to do that. First of all, I'd like to appreciate you guys for having me to take part in the call tonight. Dave Zavula, this guy here, he's awesome. I've had the opportunity to see him here in the Huntsville area back on December 27th, and then to see him again in Atlanta, that was just really awesome. And he's still preaching the same message, and that is when you meet someone, you first walk up to them, you compliment them about something. This is a people's business. We're not just out trying to make money. We're trying to make relationships, change lives. We're in a building. We're in a business to where we can affect people's lives forever. And we're doing that. When you first walk up to someone, compliment them. You never know what kind of day these guys are having or these gals are having. And after you compliment them, introduce yourself. And once you introduce yourself, what's the next thing they're going to do? They're going to introduce themselves. And then after that, you make friends with them. You sit there and you talk with them, you dialogue back and forth with them. You don't just come up and just, start sticking your business in their face. And so you make a friend, and then you find out what they do. And once you ask them what they do, then naturally the next thing is for them to let you to ask you, what do you do? I mean, they're going to find you such a pleasant person, such a friendly person, and so they want to ask what you do. And at that time, if you have a good feel for it, that's when you introduce this opportunity. Also, at the convention, I had the opportunity to meet Miss Lorna Rasmussen, and she is a awesome person. I didn't know who she was until I actually got to Atlanta, because I have not showed consistency and been active in the business. But this was a very powerful young lady, and she also got up on stage and she mentioned a few things, and I really liked some of the things she had to say. And one of the things that she said that makes a lot of sense, guys, is that she says you got to look the part, you got to dress the part. I mean, you can't just approach people looking like you just come out of the gym, or you just come out of cutting your yard. And so if you're looking for Reds, then you got to dress like the Reds dress. I mean, if someone's in sales, most of the time you're going to see them with a suit and tie or a business suit for the women. And she was just powerful. She kept it very brief, but she hit a few key points that I thought that we all should know. And Michael Dorsey, I got a chance to see Michael Dorsey there. I mean, this event in Atlanta, I know it's not as big and have all the I won't say they don't have the energy that OKC has, because it was very energetic. This one day, I think it is going to change the LegalShield business in the state of Alabama. I mean, there was more people there from Alabama than I've ever seen. We all took a group picture together. And so we're trying to make things here in the Alabama area. We're reaching out to Florence and down to Birmingham, and we're trying to see what these guys are doing in their market and come closer together and try to put our state on the map. But jumping back to Michael Dorsey, he had 6 key things that he touched on. And, I mean, it almost felt like he was talking directly to me. The first thing he led off with was stop procrastinating. He went on to say that procrastination is the assassination of motivation. And, I've procrastinated in many different ways about this business and just throughout my life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so a lot of times I'll do busy work, but it's not productive work. It's not the work that I know that I need to be doing. It's not putting my big rocks in first. And so the point number 2 that he touched on was build daily habits. He said the single daily disciplines that you do every day will compound over time to form positive habits, which will lead you to success. Now, how powerful is that? I mean, build daily habits. I mean, right now my goal is to take one bad habit a month and replace it with one good habit. And so he's just reinforcing some of the things that we've already said and talked about, I'm going to say since October here in our local market. The next thing he said is be persistent. Be persistent and it will form habits. It will form habits. The first part of a reliable work ethics is to be persistent. And number 4 is develop a laser focus. Eliminate distractions will help you maintain a long-term focus. You have to be laser focused on what your why is. This will help you to overcome obstacles. And I'm going to try to keep this very brief. Number 5 was develop a do-it-now attitude. Don't let yourself procrastinate when you still have an unfinished to-do list. Complete your list daily. Complete your daily goals before you go to bed at night. And now this is coming from a guy that had a lawn care business, and he'd work all day, and he'd be muddy up to the top of his head. Muddy boots, muddy jeans, smelling like grass. His wife wouldn't let him come inside, and she'd make him change clothes in the cold garage or take his clothes off to come in the house. And so he would still be up at 10, 11 o'clock at night completing his to-do list for that day because he knew that his lawn care business was not the vehicle that was going to get him to where he wanted to be. And so he put the blood and sweat and tears in, and now look where he is. The 6th step was develop a do-it-right attitude. Now, this one right here, I don't know which one of these I love the best, but I really love this one. It says, if you're not going to do it right, then don't do it at all. And, you know, that really hit me like squarely in the back or right between the eyes, or I don't know how you should say it, but, you know, if I'm not going to be committed and do this business right, then why waste anyone's time? And so I've been, you know, up until this point, I can't say I've been committed, and I definitely haven't been consistent, but now I have a conviction, and it makes the commitment and the consistency show up. And so, you know, I was in LegalShield up until this point. Now LegalShield is in me. And so with that, guys, I'm going to turn it back over because I don't want to monopolize the time, but I had a great time in Atlanta, and I look forward to seeing you guys in OKC. Although I have not purchased my ticket, I'll make sure that is something that I have done before this week is out. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Shelby. Really appreciate that. That was definitely a clinic, and love it. What I want to do is go over to Atlanta, Georgia. I know, Christy Gilman, you show up at everything, and just briefly would love to get just your excitement.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm never short for work. Huh? Do what?
I said go for it.
Can you hear me, Patty?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Patty?
I can, perfectly.
Okay, great. Well, I'm never short for words, but I was blown away this weekend. I'm so excited. You know, Lorna mentioned a lot of it, and I know anybody who's had some of these regional events in their area can appreciate. But having Mr. Rip Mason there and John Hoffman and Don Thompson from Florida, it was amazing. The thing that struck me, you know, in addition to all the specifics about where the company is going, was just the focus and the impact that personal development is having on folks. And the thing that blew me away, Patty, is I know that you guys, we all believe this, but it's in the soul, and having it in the soul and in your environment makes such a difference. John Hoffman brought his 2 daughters on stage and was talking about as young professionals, one girl's in college and another one's just starting her career, what a difference it makes, and just having that personal development, how it transcends beyond work. And, you know, over and over again we hear that. And you know, I was leaning over to Lorna and I kind of punched her in the arm and I said, because, you know, if we ever feel like we're getting down or we're kind of hard on ourselves, we have this little trash voice in our head. And the best thing to get that trash voice out is our own personal development. We have to make the choice, and we have to make the choice about what we're going to do that next moment to get out of that trash talk. And I firmly believe that the personal development is the best way to do it. We had an amazing session today with John Milton Fogg, you know, one of the stars of network marketing, talking a lot about some of this, and I'm just blown away where this company has gone in the last 6 months. You can't imagine what they are doing for the next 6 years. And I'm on board and ready to go, and I'm cranking up my personal development charge for the next quarter, at least between now and OKC. I highly recommend everyone to do the same. So with that, back to you guys. Thanks so much, Patty.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Christy. Awesome comments. Really appreciate that, and just love your energy, Christy. Really looking forward to everything that we're going to do, and even more excited because Brenda and Jerry Lafredo and their team are joining in with all of us, and you guys have no idea what that's going to do for all of us with the brain trust of these two women, Lorna Rasmussen and then the couple, Brenda and Jerry Lafredo. Between the group business, the small business, and the networking, by having the amalgamation of these top leadership, it's just going to be incredible. So Brenda Lafredo, I'm turning the call over to you. Just would love to get your comments. And you should be able to speak, Brenda. I see I've unmuted your line.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes.
Great. Well, thank you, Patty, for inviting me to speak just for a minute. And I can't tell everybody how excited we are, Jerry and I both, about bringing our team to this awesome team, because we believe that there's a lot of power in teams working together. So we're extremely excited about that. And the comments about the Power 20, Patty, I really do think that the rituals that we need to create, this is what the Power 20 is going to teach us all to do, and it's going to also teach us all to build a very strong foundation to our business, which we all need. And so it's the next step up from the Players Club, and that excites me. But without taking much time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because I know I'll get to meet you all in the future, Jerry and I have been with the company 13 years now. And I just want to say to everybody out there, we're more excited about what's happening right now with LegalShield and what's to come than what's happened in the past. You know, everybody I'm talking to right now, I'm sending them out to mid-ocean. I'm sending them out to career builders to take a look and add that added credibility. So all of that's going to make our jobs extremely much easier and with much more excitement. So Ken and Patty, thank you very much. Lorna, awesome job, all of you. We look forward to working with you, and we will, by the way, we have Dave Savola out here in Arizona this coming Saturday. So if anyone knows anyone here, let us know. We'll be glad to host them for you because we do believe in teamwork. So I look forward to seeing you guys. I'll talk to you all next week. Back to you, Patty.
Awesome. Thank you, Brenda. Really appreciate that. And absolutely, I'm going to go through my list and see who I have in the Arizona marketplace. So just in wrapping up, everyone, I know we went a little bit over, but I think it was definitely worth it. We got so many great comments and really some good training from everybody. So I just want to remind everyone to stay plugged in. That is definitely equals ultimate success, just staying plugged in. Tomorrow is the leadership show, and of course the group call first. Leadership show you can watch online or listen via your telephone. There's the phone numbers in front of you. We're going to encourage you to just take part in Facebook, let people know what you're doing, what's working for you. We are also going to be speaking with Lorna Rasmussen as well as Jerry and Brenda Lafredo about putting one localized place together that will actually encompass all the teams So we'll probably come up with a new team name and a website and everything that's going to be kind of our new beginning, if you will. And I'm very, very excited about that. So we'll get more information back to you on that. The other thing that's going to be so great is just having more input from Lorna and her team and from Jerry and Brenda and their team. Want to encourage everyone to attend a minimum of one event this week with a guest. That's the deal. And so take care, everyone. If you're on the West Coast, still lots of time to set up some appointments for next week. So appreciate it, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Well, it was Friday in the PM, and just like every weekend, I was ready to throw down.